Hello and welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 435. I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
I'm Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les. Today is Tuesday, April the 9th, 2019. Yeah, that's all I got. Show over!
The end. No, I'll go first because Leslie's picking back up stitches.
Yeah.
She is doing some of her,
Yeah, I'm going to talk about it in the favorite things towards the end.
So she's doing stuff, but we can't tell you about it now.
No, it's a secret for the next 20 minutes.
Top secret for 20 minutes. I am knitting on some Rose City rollers. I am decreasing for the toes, so they're almost done. This is the first one. This is Knit Picks Felici and the Magical colorway. I probably got this on sale. It's their special reserve. I got this on sale, I think, for around $3 a ball. So the total, the pair of socks, at most, I think it was $3 a ball. It might have been like $2.50 or something. They'll be $6 little socks. I'm knitting these because I am flying to Maryland and I want a pair of socks to put on, because usually I wear like my Toms when I fly, but I want a pair of socks to just pull on when I'm going through security.
You don't want to put your bare feet on the ground?
I have in the past, but also...
no, she does not.
Yeah, I do not. That's the end of that story. These are being knit on size 0 needles. It's a free pattern called Rose City Rollers. I always do my heel flap 2.5 inches, so I don't even know what it's supposed to be, but my heel flap was 2.5 inches, and I've just been going to town on these. I think I started them a week ago. So, as I read, I've been knitting on these. Yeah, I think you were on the
flap on Thursday when we recorded.
Okay, yeah, I think I started them less than a week ago. So I'm super happy for that. I need to find the other little ball because this is not going to make me a second pair. But it will make me... she also has like a baby version.
Oh.
So my friend's having a little girl, and I thought that would be cute for that. I mean, it might have a little bit too much blue, but it'll be fine. I need to knit her a little happy because she just...
Gender norms are for losers.
Yeah, well, that's also true, but she was just put on high-risk status, so she needs a little happy, so I might do that when I finish these, to finish up these little balls. And this yarn's super soft, or maybe I'll knit some little hats or something coming up. I am trying to avoid obligation knitting, so I need to get stuff done. So that is the first thing on my needles. The second thing on my needles is a sweater. So I started the Passing Showers sweater out of Plucky. I did not get very far. I got this far on Saturday.
Oh.
But it is out of Plucky Sweater, which I think is a base they no longer make, in the skies of November. I'm knitting it on size 5 needles, I believe. Yep. And cast on and done the first repeat. It's a little bit different in that, like, the front is stockinette. Then there's a garter detail that takes 2 stitches. And then the sleeve is stockinette. And then the back is a garter lace. But it's got these garter stitches in between the sleeve cap. So it's a cute little detail. It's going to use around 1,300 yards of a DK weight yarn. So that is exactly... I don't know why I bought so little. Probably because that's what I could get.
Yeah, that's what they had.
But it wasn't enough for me to do like a long sleeve sweater. So this seemed to be a really good fit for it. I'm alternating skeins. It's an Elizabeth Brown pattern, I believe. It's going fine so far. The little that I've done. It's living in a Fat Squirrel bag from forever ago. So that is the items that I'm currently working on.
Okay. I also have some stuff that I'm working on. So, what is this? So first thing I'm working on,
that's cute.
I'd swatched for it last week. So this is an Olga Baraya Kefalion pattern, Olga Jazzy, and it's called Sokkasama, and it is a jacket you can wear 4 ways.
Oh, wow.
So you can wear it right side up, upside down, inside out, upside down, and inside out, right side up.
Her patterns tend to be multiple way patterns, which is cool.
Yeah, she does a lot of, like, 3D texture and modular and, like, really conceptual kind of knitting, which I think is great. I mean, she also does some just sort of signature pieces as well, but, so this is knit, the yarn it actually calls for is what I'm using, which is a rarity, but, it calls for Habu Textiles N35, which...
I'm going to interrupt for a second. I find that Habu is a hard thing to use other yarns for. Like, it's one of those that it's so specifically made that it's really hard to replace.
Like, if you want to mimic the same drape and texture and density, I
just
agree.
because it has unique properties, like paper chainettes and stuff like that.
It's
it would
like
be hard to do.
The stainless steel, like, wire... yarn that people knit jewelry out of, I think is a Habu as well. So, anyway, I still don't completely understand the construction on this. I'm just sort of going with it and seeing what happens. Basically, so far, that is just knitting and stockinette. So, I wound this, it's knit with 2 strands held together. So, there's 2 separate strands here. I don't know how well you can tell that, but hold it against my hair where it's darker, you can see there's 2 strands. So I put the 2 skeins on Laura's Swift and hand wound them to keep the tension even. And still, it's gotten a little off, not a ton, but like a little bit. Like, so I've got a little give in one of the skeins, but not much. So,
but that's going to get progressively worse as you work on it.
It will.
Yeah.
But
it'll be alright.
I'm like 9 inches into it now, so
yeah,
it's okay. So this is what I've got. Actually, that's not 9. That's probably more like 7, but I have to knit until this is 11 inches, and then I'll start doing some additional things. Right now it's just stockinette.
Cool.
It's really easy to knit with. I don't really have any complaints. It does feel papery, but it's not hard on my hands like cotton can be. Of course, it also has no give, so that's part of it, whereas cotton does give a little bit. Yeah, no complaints. It's just stockinette fabric right now.
Are you using your Jimmy Beans needles?
I am. I'm using my Jimmy Beans Smart Sticks interchangeables. I'm using a 4.5 millimeter, which is a size 7. That's what size I swatched and what size I got. I can tell, like, because this has a papery feel and drape, it shows wrinkles, like, much more than a wool piece would. But it also, you just steam it and it'll relax.
Yeah, so you're going to press it when you're done.
Yeah.
Sewing people say that's the way to make anything look better.
Yeah, that is true. Especially if you're doing piecing and quilting. So the other thing that I am working on is something I randomly decided to do last week, and this is called the Indigo Shrug. I'm going to try to pronounce this name. It is Tatiana Kuprianchik, and it is a crochet pattern. So this is out of Sheepji's yarn, which is you might have seen these. I started seeing these last year when we were in Maryville with your mom.
Yeah.
At that knitting shop.
Yeah.
This might have been around longer. That's the first time I remember seeing it. But it's this cotton 4-ply, and each ply is its own color, and slowly it starts from all black to 3 black, 1 white, half and half.
She's doing, what's that top that you did that's like on the bias?
Oh, Sugar Maple?
Yes, that's what she's using hers for, I think.
So this is a 60% cotton, 40% acrylic, and it's this Sheepji's Whirl. I got it on sale at loveknitting.com because it was my first purchase. I think it was like $25 a skein, and I think I got it for around $15 a skein. And this color is called Green Tea Tipple. I think a tipple is like a drink in written.
Huh.
I think.
Cool.
Anyway, this is essentially just a big square. It's kind of like a somewhat fancy granny square.
You are super into squares lately, my friend.
So, I finished the central panel, and I'm just starting this sort of lacy panel. And I just started it a couple days ago. I had to rip my first attempt out completely because apparently gauge is important in crochet too.
Oh, yeah. The stuff that you were doing at my house?
Yeah. The hook that I was using there was too big. So I had some smaller ones, so I dug it out. And
was that the smallest hook that you
No,
grabbed?
I think there was one more smaller than that.
Because I want to crochet around some cords.
Yeah, no, there was one smaller than that. So it could probably stand to still be a little bit tighter, but it's not going to, it's going to be a shrug, so it's not hugely important that it meet gauge. It's just starting to fade out with the white blend there on the edge. So all 4 plies were gray. Now starting around the edge, there's 3 gray and 1 white. So this is the lace pattern. I put lace sort of in quotes. I guess it really does. It is lace, but anyway, that's what I'm working on now. I restarted it yesterday afternoon, and I've been rewatching Game of Thrones in preparation for this weekend's season premiere.
It's very exciting.
Season 8. It's the last season, y'all. Anyway.
Have they been off for like 2 years?
Yes. 2017 was the last time there was a new episode. Not that my husband knows this obsessively. Frequently I'll turn to him and I'll ask, who is this again? And he'll be like, oh, that's so-and-so who was born of so-and-so, and they come from the so-and-so land. He's a little obsessed, which is unusual for a fantasy style show. It's not his typical.
But he likes Star Trek Next Gen.
He did, but he hasn't liked any of the new Star Trek movies. He didn't like the new Star Trek, the reboot with the lady captain, or the one before it that had what's-his-face.
Well, there's a new one going on now.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Has he tried that one?
He also doesn't like the Orville, which is an FX, what's that guy's name?
It's the guy who does Stewie's voice in
Family Guy.
Seth
MacFarlane. Good job, dude. He's the sort of creator, and he also stars in the show, but it's kind of a comedic Star Trek.
It's like Spaceballs is Star Wars.
Sort of, yeah. It's funny, and they tackle difficult subjects as well, but he can't get into it.
I made it halfway through the first episode.
Yeah. Although Laura has been watching Shrill, which can be real embarrassing and stuff, but she's hanging in there for that. It's a good show, though. I don't know how we got on that topic. Anyway, this is what I'm knitting.
Oh, I just messed that up.
I do have a finished
Luckily
thing.
I can fix it.
Which I will show you guys.
Yeah, I want to see.
Since Laura is in the middle of something at the moment. I finished my square-ish. Hint, it's a square. It's really a rectangle.
There's like a theme going on right now.
So I finished this probably Thursday, but then I didn't seam it until I got to Laura's on Saturday, and I spent like 3 hours seaming this stupid thing. So this is what it looks like right now. I probably will overdye it, just because I am looking for a slightly more consistent color. And it's funny, on this side, it's very different on the top than it is on the bottom, but on this side, it's not.
Not so much.
It's just scaly, sort of. So
I don't mind the scaliness. I do mind the total difference in.
Well, I'm going to overdye it because I'm going to overdye
Yeah.
something else too. So it's just a simple, like, sort of tunic thing. It's meant to be a little bit cropped.
Yeah, it'd be cute for dresses, for sure.
Or I like to wear tank tops, but I like to wear them long and then have like capri pants on. So this will be a good,
Yeah, definitely.
kind of layer
It's
piece.
a good Leslie layer piece.
So, and this is square-ish. I forget who the designer is.
But it's been in the show notes for a week. I think you finished that in a whole week and like a half, maybe. 3 shows, maybe? Maybe less.
This is the 3rd show, and it's finished, so...
That's pretty awesome, dude.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. It's out of Nettle Grove, which is a cotton, linen, nettle, silk blend that is now discontinued by Plymouth Yarn. It's still available for sale in a few places, but I do like this yarn a lot. I'm sad that I won't be able to get any more. But I do also still have 2 sweater lots of it. So
that's awesome.
Garment lots. And that's it.
Cool.
I have some spinning, but I don't have any of it with me.
Oh, why didn't you bring it upstairs?
Because I don't even have a bobbin done yet.
Oh. I have some spinning done as well, but it's, I started spinning a Hello Yarn patchwork kit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not done with the first bobbin, but I'm loading up my bobbin pretty hardcore. I think I'm going to do a sweater out of this.
Because you get like a pound of yarn in those.
You do. It's all assorted little bits and bobs. Probably nothing more than like 15 grams, but
of any single color.
Yeah, of any single color or fiber. Really, it's got a lot. This one has a lot of silk in it, which is interesting.
It's not Laura's favorite.
It's not, but it's okay. I think I'm gonna do like just a basic top-down raglan out of it once I find, once I swatch with it and I get like the whole. I have 2 pounds of. I have 2 different lots to play with.
Now, I
Plus
know
some
you
left
used,
over from my blanket.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know you used 1 for a blanket.
Mm-hmm.
So have you spun another lot already?
Well, I used 1.5 for a blanket, so I'd spun the other half.
Oh, okay.
And then I don't know that that's going to match up with weight-wise with this, because it was spun quite a while ago.
Yeah.
But, and then I'm going to, I don't know, we'll see. I'm just going to play, per usual.
That's fair. Whatever it ends up is what it was supposed to be.
Always. But yeah, I think I'm going to do a sweater. It's going to be kind of a stripey. I'm still going to chain ply it. But, yeah.
That was a lot of chain plying, my friend.
It'll be fun. The problem with chain plying is it makes your inconsistencies really stand out.
Yeah.
But I don't know that. Well, I'm going to spin some bobbins and then maybe I'll fool around.
Now that we have like a metric crap ton of weaving bobbins to wind off on.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I have a lot of just bobbins in general.
That is a fact.
And Acreworks started selling the high-speed checked bobbins, so I foresee lots of new bobbins in my future eventually. Because those are lighter weight, so you can spin skinnier singles on them.
I feel like every bobbin Laura uses is a high-speed bobbin.
I don't think that's
true. It becomes a high-speed bobbin.
Whatever. Alright. I Kitchenered while on the show. I'm just throwing that out there.
Like a boss.
Yep. Now I just have to. I'm going to add that to my little
Laura pile.
Just to weave in the first one. Yay! First sock done. Alright, things that I finished. I finished a hat, actually.
That's really cute. I forgot about that.
I finished, sorry, I put my hair up wet earlier. And now it's kind of doing its own thing. I finished the Lowlands hat by Tin Can Knits. And it calls for 1 color. I did it out of 2. So this is Loop Yin and Yang, which is really cool. So this dark color has the light in it and the light has the dark. I'll take it back off in a second so you can see. This brim is knit sideways. Like I said, it's the Lowlands hat by Tin Can Knits. And then you pick up. So what I did was I knit it sideways with the darker color, picked up with the darker color, knit a row in the darker color. Then I switched to the lighter color. And I had plenty with 2 half skeins with some leftover. This is the second to largest size. But I was also like trying it on as I was going. What else do I want to say about this? It was knit on size 6 needles. I knit it in around 48 hours. I had tried starting it back in November, and I did not read the directions through all the way and messed up. So I ended up ripping. I had gotten like halfway through the brim and was like, oh, I'm supposed to be purling the first 2 stitches on both sides. I thought it was just garter. Okay. oh, there's some slip stitches that are, because this bottom edge is slipped. That's supposed to be going on. I really like the yarn. I might pick up some more when I see her in Maryland. We'll see. I think I still have one skein, not of the yin and yang, but one skein of like her other yarn.
Yeah, because you got me like a purpley black skein.
Mm-hmm. I might knit that up.
And I think it was at the last Maryland.
It was. It totally was. And then she came out with this for Rhinebeck and sent us each a skein. Yeah. And so we decided to take those skeins and split them in half. So that we could each do something. I think this would be really, really fun in brioche, for sure. But
it might be fun to do a foolproof out of, because the colors are so complementary.
Yeah. And I know Amy Florence bought a sweaters lot to do a sweater out of. So that's kind of cool.
Which will be gorgeous, because everything she makes is gorgeous.
Yeah, well, there's that. So that's the first thing that I finished. I might just leave it on. The second thing that I finished is the Liesel scarf.
Look at you. Now your dad will be happy.
Yeah, I just need to clip the ends, but it was blocked and everything. It's a little bit shorter than I would make a scarf for me, but this was so way back when. Way back in time, in like 2008.
Yeah, before the podcast.
Before the podcast. It might still be a little bit damp. I knit a scarf for my father's good friend's wife, because she came down with pneumonia, and it was the Liesel scarf, and I did it out of one skein of Malabrigo worsted. And her husband, and she's like really, really like that scarf and wears it every winter, and her husband contacted me back in November because he had put it through the washer and dryer, and now it's like this big. So he asked if I would knit her another. So it took me, I told him not till after Christmas, and then it did take, it is slightly still damp, a little bit longer than I wanted to, but this scarf pattern is not one that I find very memorizable, and I tend to get lost. It's the Liesel scarf. It's a 10-row repeat, but it's not like you can really tell, or at least I couldn't really.
It's not intuitive.
Make my brain work around it. So because he wanted exactly the same as the other one, I had him pick out the color from Eat Sleep Knit, because the color she had was discontinued. And I can't remember which color this is. I think it's Orchid, maybe?
I feel like you said that before, so maybe.
Yeah. So I was going to make it longer, and then I ran out of steam on it yesterday. Like, I could have gone a couple more repeats, I feel like, with it. But she wanted it. Well, she wanted it the same size. So I don't see, like, if she wants the same size, why should I make it longer? But I did buy a second skein when I did it, so I'm gonna pop out a hat real fast this weekend. Just like a beret that you guys probably won't even see on the podcast, because I want to get it, I want to mail this weekend.
I'm stealing your end.
That's fine. So this is Malabrigo worsted. It was knit on size 7 needles, and it's the Liesel scarf. So I'm glad it's done. I'm glad I have 2 finished objects this week. But it's nice to, because I guess my father wants me to get it done, because obviously it's an obligation that I took on, and I need to fulfill my obligations. So it's done. And I'll do the quick little matching beret with no pattern to it at all, so I'll just bust it out real fast. And that'll be it. Oh, here's the postcard for the Loop Artisan Spun Yarns. Which I think this yarn would be perfect for one of those Andrea Mowry, like, shifts.
Night shift or whatever.
Yes, yeah. I think that would be awesome as well. Maybe I should get some I don't know. I should stop buying yarn is what I should do. But I've been doing pretty well with that, actually. I've been using more than what's come in, yarn-wise. Fiber-wise is a whole nother story. But yarn-wise, I've been using more than what I've been buying, which is good. That's the plan. So that's it for me for finished objects. I have no spinning. On the reading, well, I have spinning, but I didn't bring it because it's not quite a full bobbin yet, and I don't know what's going on, and I've already discussed it. On the reading front, I just started a book called Witch Blood, a Kitsum Chronicle. It reminds me a little bit of Alana Andrews. It is male. And that's about it. Like, I'm enjoying it so far, but I'm not very far into it. But it's got werewolves and vampires and kitsum, which are fox shifters that can do magic.
Yeah. I found there was one of those in a reverse harem that I tried that I just couldn't.
Yep.
Couldn't get into.
It's Japanese, I feel like, mythology.
That's correct.
Perhaps. Rick Riordan Presents has a new kids book with kitsum called Dragon's Pearls. It's very space opera-y. I just got the, because I like those books a lot. I like Rick Riordan. And so he's got this imprint now where it's people who are of those cultures writing about their cultures or their mythology and incorporating that in. Like Sal and Gabby Break the Universe is one that's set in Florida that has like a Cuban flair. There's Stormrunner that has a Mayan flair. So I've been enjoying that series. So I got the new one on Audible to listen to in my free time, whenever that happens. What have you been reading, friend?
I have been reading the third in the Vaudry Brothers series, which is a male-female medieval sort of romance. The third one just came out recently. And it's called, I think, An Ill-Made Match. And it's all about, like, knights and earls and dukes and the royal courts.
And that's, like, male-female romance?
Yeah, it's male-female. And it's fine. I like the author a lot, Alice Coldbreath. She puts in enough detail to make a rich environment, but not so much that you just want her to shut up. And then I'm listening
Outlander-ish.
to I'm listening to Be Fairy Game by Megan Maslow. It is the second in the what is that series called? I've read the book already, but I do that sometimes because you can get the audiobook
for like $7 if you own the Kindle edition, because Audible and
Amazon are owned by the same company.
Owned.
So the first book is called By Fairy Means or Foul. It's the Starfig Investigations.
Oh,
series.
I know that series.
Yeah. So the first one in the first book, the one of the protagonists is a slave, a bed slave to an evil unicorn.
Maybe I don't know this series.
Who is beautiful but terrible. It's funny. It's male. It's fantasy-ish.
And you have the books? Be Fairy Game? Okay.
Yeah.
It's not on Kindle Unlimited?
No.
Okay.
Wait, yes, it is.
Okay.
So
I did a terrible job of weaving it in.
I just started that one. And already talked about the book I'm reading. So there's that.
Cool. But you have something to talk about for the mending.
I do. So
along.
We'll be talking more about the mending, the Clothing Conservation Month, which we just sort of decided is a thing. And by we, I mean Laura. While I wholeheartedly agree, it was her idea. It's focusing on taking care of your existing items and mending those that need mending or altering things. Like I'm going to overdye the squarish that I just finished, so that's one thing.
Yeah.
I finished a sweater years back out of Bartlett yarns. No, it's not Bartlett. It's the one that Amy Beth loves.
It's got an animal name. Doesn't it?
It's like 10% mohair and 90% wool.
Anyway, just continue with the story and I'll think of it in a second, maybe.
And I made a Lucky Me cardigan, which is by a name like Simone something French. And it's basically, it's a cabled cardigan, green cardigan with pockets that are sort of hidden in the cables, which is a really cool, clever detail. But I made this sweater, and then I wore it frequently, and then I left it in the back of my car for almost an entire summer, folded in the same position. So it is sun bleached.
In weird ways.
In weird ways. So I'm going to overdye that as well, because I would like to wear it again. And right now it just looks dirty because of the pattern of the sun bleach. And it's not. It's just the color is gone in that area. Because I left it in the, 100-degree sun for 3 months. Also, I have been ripping out... Sorry, I'm trying to page down here so we can see. Make sure I don't forget anything. So, this was Pavement. And I knit this last fall, mostly. I think a little bit into the first of the year. And I was very anxious to get it done, so much so that I paid no attention to gauge when it came to the sleeves, and they were very tight.
So you're ripping them out and reknitting them.
So this was a top-down sweater. So I've ripped out the sleeves, and it's back to stitches on holders.
Yeah, it was a top-down raglan, correct?
Yeah. Well, it's sort of.
Okay.
Because the increases here weren't the standard raglan increases. Instead of the increases kind of going at like a 45-degree angle, they went out more drastically, which I think also contributed to the weird fit in the arm for me. So I'm going to pick up and reknit the sleeves, and I probably will actually make them a little longer, like just past elbow length.
Yeah, because you have more yarn too, right?
I have plenty. I have a whole skein I haven't even touched yet.
Cool.
So, actually maybe 2 skeins I haven't touched yet. I'll have to look. So yeah, this I'll probably have back on the needles next week.
You finished it you finished it in September.
Oh, has it been that long?
Yes, because we went to Vicksburg and you were going to wear it, but it was too hot.
Oh. So it's been a while. So I didn't get to
Pretty
wear
sure
it at
that's what
all.
happened.
So this is another SSK thing that didn't see SSK last year, because I bought this yarn at SSK.
Yeah, you did. I bought the same in blue.
Yeah, and then I think Gwen got it in a gray.
Yeah, I need to knit that maybe.
So, I mean, I like the yarn. It's a Tweety, I think it's called Tweety Toes.
It is.
It's by Two Guys Yarn Company.
In the Bordeaux colorway.
Yep, this is Bordeaux. So, yeah, I have
so many sweaters I want to knit this summer. Like, it's ridiculous.
I need to go back and see what
there, though.
needle size I used, and then try it on and make sure the sleeves, like, they're huge and gaping right now, so I don't anticipate I'm going to have a problem, like getting my arm through at this point. And then I just need to measure my arm and then figure out the right number of stitches to pick up and all that. So, yeah, it'll be like having a whole new sweater.
It will. That
I've only had to knit the sleeves for. And I probably won't finish the sleeves until Stash Dash.
Oh, because Stash Dash begins May 24th and ends August 24th. We'll do all the details on our video on Stash Dash. We'll put up the voting polls and everything May 1st. They'll be up until probably around the 14th, and then we'll close them, do the official rules video that week, and then we'll be ready to go on the 24th. Man, 6 weeks.
And right after Stash Dash goes live, we'll be going to Stitches
United, yep.
Which is in Atlanta. I have a class all day Thursday. Laura has a class half a day Thursday.
Yeah, so if you get bored, come find me out if you're there Thursday, and we'll go to the market Thursday night.
And Friday, probably.
And Friday morning, and then drive back that afternoon.
Yep.
It looks like you're working out. Record elliptical. Yes. Yes, Watch. I totally am working out.
Hey, people at Apple, she's a dirty liar.
Thank you for making sure I was working out and counting that time. This is amazing. That's why, I feel like my Fitbit would not register this.
Yeah, your Fitbit was like, don't try to fool me.
I know what you're doing. And it doesn't really matter because in a week I can't wear any
you start your testing.
Yeah, for a month.
Laura does, what do you call it, like a proctor of state testing?
I'm an administrator for state testing.
So she walks around a room for 6 hours a day staring at children.
Yep.
She's not allowed to knit.
Nope.
And she's not allowed to have anything electronic, essentially.
Yep.
So, That's fun.
You can't read the test. You just kind of monitor and make sure that everyone's doing what they're supposed to be doing. And that the timing is what it's supposed to be. And all those rules. So many rules.
Yeah.
So much stress. But, you know, it is what it is.
Yep. So aside from that, so Thursday, since we're not recording, we might actually be able to do a RuPaul watching party.
Yeah, maybe.
Laura will be at her house and I'll be at my house.
Yeah.
But we'll both have laptops then, so that's positive.
That's always good.
Let's see.
That's about it, I think.
I think so. Yeah, I feel like we've had more to talk about this show than we have for the last 3 weeks.
Well, we finished some stuff, so that's always good.
Yeah.
And there's lots going on, so...
Yeah. And I've kept Laura out late. It's 8:15, so I think at this point we're going to say goodbye. We hope you have a lovely week. Talk to you next week.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all. Looks so pretty.
Whatever. It is what it is at this point.
Screw you too, lady.
Thank you for that compliment.
Oh shit, I forgot I actually have to have some yarn to put this on hold with. I like ripped the sleeve out because I have to redo the sleeve without thinking
no
about
needles.
Yeah. Whoops.